prosecutor. I stood up for victims of every race, color, and creed. That's the only way to do it in our country. It's something I believe in, and as governor, I will represent all the people. Everyone will get a fair shake. But I am not going to bow down to the altar of political correctness. I'm going to not let the media smear me like they like to do with so many other people.
Sir,
I'm certainly not going to take anything from Andrew Gillum, who's endorsed the Dream Defenders, which says Israel is an apartheid state, and which says the police and prisons have no place in justice.
But Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously. 4 of them here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped.
Welcome to today's episode of The Moderate View.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Moderate View podcast. Be sure to hit that like, and I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need your support. All right, so today is going to be a super exciting podcast. We're going to be analyzing and having a look at some of the previous debates with Ron DeSantis versus his first opponent, and also for his second election, his re-election. We're going to take a look at the debate stage. We're going to take a look at the psychological strategies between Ron DeSantis and his opponents when there's intense amounts of pressure applied to Ron DeSantis, and we're going to see how he handles that pressure. We're also going to take a look and rewind the tapes back on history and take a look on Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, and we're going to have a look and see how Donald Trump, behaves. We're going to look at history and take a look at and see, what are some things he could have done better? What are some things that, Donald Trump essentially versus Ron DeSantis, 2024 Republican nomination. I'm going to create a hypothetical scenario. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Excuse me. I'm super excited about it. And here's our first clip we got of the day. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip. This is, let's see, must-see moments for the final Florida gubernatorial debate. And this is NBC. So let's go ahead and take a look. So Andrew Gillum.
I'm a Iraq veteran, former prosecutor, and I am on a mission to protect Florida's future. I was at the congressional baseball practice when a gunman tried to shoot. My teammates did shoot Steve Scalise because he didn't like Republicans. And so I know firsthand that when we start going down that road, that could be very, very deadly. So I condemn that. I condemn what happened today. Obviously, we need to get the facts before we jump to conclusions. But I think it is important that we try to unify.
We saw not only around the country, but right here in our own state, Democratic elected officials who were targeted. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in today's incidences. But we've really seen a collapsing of our political discourse.
If someone's here illegally, they commit a crime, they should go through the justice system, obviously. But what he will not commit to is once they've served that sentence, say you're convicted of child molestation. You're here illegally. You've served your sentence. State prison. Are you going to hand them over to ICE or not?
All right. I just want to comment on something. All right. So right off the bat, I immediately was able to pick up how Ron DeSantis was. Yes, he was very nervous. I could feel that, but the kind of nervous energy that's very excited versus his name is what? Andrew Gillum. So versus Mayor Andrew Gillum, I can sense Ron DeSantis was something important needs to be said and I'm going to say it. And I might be nervous and I might be like afraid. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to say what I believe and I'm going to say my points. So there's a lot of courage coming from Ron DeSantis versus Andrew Gillum on the debate stage 4 years ago. So I apologize. Let's go ahead and rewind that back and take a look, because that was when he really started getting heated and started talking about molestation and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and take a look back.
Is once they've served that sentence, say you're convicted of child molestation, you're here illegally, you've served your sentence, state prison, are you going to hand him over to ICE or not? He will not commit to doing that. That means that child molester convicted gets released back on the streets after serving the sentence, and guess what? That child molester will reoffend, and someone's son or daughter in Florida will end up paying the price.
Wow.
Shame on you.
The truth hurts.
I'm sorry. This is too important.
Did you hear that? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I gotta go ahead and comment on this. So Ron DeSantis literally stated the facts like super hardball, and it was a very like controversial, like super, like, what can I say, like super like a very like child molestation, you know, that's really hard to talk about. It makes people uncomfortable. And you're speaking to thousands, hundreds of thousands of Floridians, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he's literally calling out Andrew Gillum about not prosecuting child molesters. So that takes a lot of courage. So again, Ron DeSantis has a lot of courage. You could tell, like, it's scary to do the right thing. You know what I mean? It's scary to like have courage, but you could tell he kind of manages that. And anyways, one important thing I want to take a note is that he said on the sidelines, I forgot what he said. He said something about he started interrupting. He said something. Let's take a look.
One son or daughter in Florida will end up paying the price. It's true.
Shame on you.
The truth hurts.
I'm sorry. This is too important.
So he said the truth hurts. The truth hurts. Folks, this is like, oh my God, the truth hurts. Like, that is fighting words. That is not, oh, I'm just an executive guy. Like, say what you will, but Ron DeSantis definitely has that fighting, courageous spirit in him. So, I mean, we know Donald Trump is like extremely excoriating. Like, he's very like vicious, you know, kind of like hot iron rods, just, you know, poking your ribs and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be really, really, really interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at Trump versus Hillary Clinton. Hello. So they say hello. I don't remember that. So Donald Trump, I said Ronald. Donald Trump really hates Hillary.
Thank you very much for being here. We're going to begin with a
and she really hates him.
From one of the members in our town hall. Each of you will have 2 minutes to respond to this question. Secretary Clinton, you won the coin toss, so you'll go first. Our first question comes from Patrice Brock. Patrice?
Thank you and good evening. The last presidential debate could have been rated as MA, mature audiences, per TV parental guidelines. Knowing that educators assign viewing the presidential debates as students' homework, do you feel you're modeling appropriate and positive behavior for today's youth?
Well, thank you. Are you a teacher? Yes, I think that's a very good question, because I've heard from lots of teachers and parents about some of their concerns about some of the things that are being said and done in this campaign. And I think it is very important for us to make clear to our children that our country really is great because we're good. And we are going to respect one another, lift each other up. We are going to be looking for ways to celebrate our diversity. And we are going to try to reach out to every boy and girl, as well as every adult, to bring them in to working on behalf of our country. I have a very positive and optimistic view about what we can do together. That's why the slogan of my campaign is Stronger Together. Because
so that I would have to admit, that's, I mean, she didn't stutter, she didn't say like she didn't choke on her words. She was very straight to the point. She really answered, I mean, pretty damn strategically. You could tell Hillary Clinton is, she's a career politician. So, I mean, that was pretty sharp on her. So I don't know, like a lot of people say, you know, Hillary's like the worst political candidate out there or whatever. You got to pick between two evils, Trump or Hillary. I mean, that's really how it was in 2016 for millions of Americans. But I mean, you know, like the reason I didn't vote for her was because she was really corrupt. But anyways, that's a whole different conversation. Let's go ahead and take a look at Trump. So let me go ahead and fast forward this because I don't want to take way too much time. We're at 11 minutes into the podcast, so let's go ahead and really speed this up. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at President Trump. All right, here we go.
Making these deals. We're going to make great trade deals. We're going to have a strong border. We're going to bring back law and order. Just today, policeman was shot, 2 killed, and this is happening on a weekly basis. We have to bring back respect to law enforcement. At the same time, we have to take care of people on all sides. We need justice. But I want to do things that haven't been done, including fixing and making our inner cities better for the African-American citizens that are so great, and for the Latinos, Hispanics. And I look forward to doing it. It's called Make America Great Again.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. The question from Patrice was about, are you both modeling positive and appropriate behaviors for today's youth? We received a lot of questions online, Mr. Trump, about the tape that was released on Friday. As you can imagine, you called what you said locker room banter. You described kissing women without consent, grabbing their genitals.
Wow, this is getting really good.
Sexual assault. You bragged that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I apologize to my family. I apologize to the American people. Certainly, I'm not proud of it. But this is locker room talk. You know, when we have a world where you have ISIS chopping off heads, where you have, and frankly, drowning people in steel cages, where you have wars and horrible, horrible sights all over, where you have so many bad things happening. This is like medieval times. We haven't seen anything like this, the carnage all over the world. And they look and they see. Can you imagine the people that are, frankly, doing so well against us with ISIS? And they look at our country and they see what's going on. Yes, I'm very embarrassed by it.
She just has that really like blank stare. Like she's just looking lifeless. Like there's just nothing coming out of her at all.
I hate it, but it's locker room talk, and it's one of those things. I will knock the hell out of ISIS. We're going to defeat ISIS. ISIS happened a number of years ago in a vacuum that was left because of bad judgment. And I will tell you, I will take care of ISIS.
So, Mr.
And
Trump,
we should get on to much more important things and much bigger things.
Just for the record,
wow, that was really good. That was really good. That was really good. That was really good. He admitted that he was, in his own words, you know, he wasn't proud about what he said about, you know, the locker room talk Trump was talking about. And he said he apologized to his family. And he said, frankly, I think we need to focus on important things. And then he also flipped it back on Anderson Cooper. And Trump said that, no, I don't think you understood. So Trump will flip it back on you, and Trump will admit, you know, for the most part, any controversy that they're trying to tag him on, or his opponents are trying to tag him on, he'll take it and then he'll flip it, even on the host for the debates. So I thought that was a really good comeback, and the really powerful thing I feel from Trump almost all the time is that he comes from a place of like power. Like, do you remember the clip I showed with DeSantis? He was kind of like really like nervous and stuff, but like he still was a fighter. DeSantis was still a fighter against Andrew Gillum. He called him he said you refuse to lock up child molesters, and they're gonna keep committing the crimes again. And he even called them out, and I forgot what he said. He said something about, let's go ahead and take a look at that real fast.
They commit a crime, they should go through the justice system, obviously. But what he will not commit to is, once they've served that sentence, say you're convicted of child molestation. You're here illegally. You've served your sentence. State prison, are you going to hand him over to ICE or not? He will not commit to doing that. That means
powerful.
That child molester convicted gets released back on the streets after serving the sentence. And guess what? That child molester will reoffend, and someone's son or daughter in Florida will end up paying the price.
Powerful.
Shame on you.
The truth hurts.
The truth hurts. The truth hurts. Yeah. I mean, the truth hurts. And then what Trump does is, like, he kind of like, talks like, well, this and that and this and the third. And then, well, I think you this and that, and I didn't do this. But I mean, I think the Republican debates are a little bit more like hot, like higher temperature, because like it's just so important and really crazy. So let's go back with Anderson Cooper and Trump, and let's go ahead and take a look.
That what you said on that bus 11 years ago, that you did not actually kiss women without consent or grope women without consent.
I have great respect for women. Nobody has more respect for women than I do.
So for the record, you're saying you never did that?
I said things that, frankly, you hear these things are said, and I was embarrassed by it, but I have tremendous respect for women.
Have you ever done those things?
Women have respect for me, and I will tell you, no, I have not.
Oh my God, this is so terrible.
That I'm going to make our country safe. We're going to have borders in our country, which we don't have now. People are pouring into our country, and they're coming in from the Middle East and other places. We're going to make America safe again. We're going to make America great again, but we're going to make America safe again. And we're going to make America wealthy again, because if you don't do that, it sounds harsh to say, but we have to build up the wealth of our nation. Right now, other nations are taking our jobs and they're taking our wealth.
Thank you.
Really good.
That's what I want to talk about.
Secretary Clinton, do you want to respond?
Anderson Cooper, my God.
Like everyone else,
I really don't like him.
I've spent a lot of time thinking over the last 48 hours about what we heard and saw. With prior Republican nominees for president, I disagreed with them on politics, policies, principles, but I never questioned their fitness to serve. Donald Trump is different. I said starting back in June that he was not fit to be president and commander-in-chief. And many Republicans and independents have said the same thing. What we all saw and heard on Friday was Donald talking about women, what he thinks about women,
they can't let it go
to women. And he has said that the video doesn't represent who he is. But I think it's clear to anyone who heard it that it represents exactly who he is.
Damn.
Because we've seen this throughout the campaign. We have seen him insult women.
He's starting to walk. Look at that.
We've seen him rate women on their appearance, ranking them from 1 to 10. We've seen him embarrass women.
He's getting
on TV
really mad
on Twitter. We saw him after the first debate spend nearly a week denigrating a former Miss Universe in the harshest, most personal terms. So, yes, this is who Donald Trump is.
Wow.
But it's not only women, and it's not only this video that raises questions about his fitness to be our president.
And haven't you noticed Anderson Cooper has not once interrupted her. He has not once gave her like any, well, what about Benghazi, or what about this, or what about that, or you okay, I got it, or your time's up. Like, not once. So these debates, woo, I mean, Anderson Cooper is like CNN primetime, like super liberal. So anyways, you could see like psychologically how Trump begins, like his body language, he begins to like start walking and looking down and walking like, this is like, I'm getting ready to stand my ground, and I'm getting ready to do something. And if you take a look at Trump's face there, and Hillary Clinton is not looking at him at all. So let's go ahead and keep watching.
Because he has also targeted immigrants, African Americans, Latinos, people with disabilities, POWs, Muslims, and so many others.
He's shaking his head.
So this is who Donald Trump is. And the question for us, the question our country must answer, is that this is not who we are. That's why, to go back to your question, I want to send a message, we all should, to every boy and girl, and indeed to the entire world, that America already is great, but we are great because we are good. And we will respect one another, and we will work with one another, and we will celebrate our diversity. These are very important values to me, because this is the America that I know and love.
Dude, Anderson Cooper has not once interrupted her at all.
And I can pledge to you tonight that this is the America that I will serve if I'm so fortunate enough to become your president.
And we want to get to some questions
from
online.
Well, am I allowed to respond to that? I assume I am.
Yes, you can respond to that.
Yes, you could respond to that.
It's just words, folks. It's just words. Those words, I've been hearing them for many years. I heard them when they were running for the Senate in New York, where Hillary was going to bring back jobs to upstate New York, and she failed. I've heard them where Hillary is constantly talking about the inner cities of our country, which are a disaster, education-wise, job-wise, safety-wise, in every way possible.
Wow.
I'm going to help the African Americans. I'm going to help the Latinos, Hispanics. I am going to help the inner cities. She's done a terrible job for the African Americans. She wants their vote, and she does nothing, and then she comes back 4 years later. We saw that firsthand when she was a United States Senator. She campaigned where the
Mr. Trump, I want to get to audience questions.
Interrupting.
Questions.
So she's allowed to do that, but I'm not allowed to respond.
You're going to get to respond right now.
Wow, that is so biased, dude. He literally spoke hammering words, and you could tell both of the host were just shielding Hillary and allowing her to just talk. And as soon as Trump just started like saying any like really hard facts, they just start interrupting. And but like they try to do it in a way where like it's not obvious. So if you're not paying attention to like fake news or understanding that there's like really bad stories in news that are like artificial or extremely biased. Like if you don't know that, if you're not aware of that, of how biased and destructive CNN is, or ABC News, or the major corporate news, even Fox News is not innocent. And all these news organizations are guilty of fake news, fabrications, even New York Times. So if you're coming from a smart place, which I think now, fast forward 6 years or 8 years or whatever into the future, we know 100% that Americans are waking up everywhere. I mean, I started my podcast. Tons of Americans started their podcasts and talking about politics. While you have crazy people, like I talked in my monologue, committing atrocious crimes and, all these other things that I really don't want to rant on about. But anyways, so Trump, hits hard. He will hit you hard and focus on exactly what like the majority of people think deep down inside. Ron DeSantis says the truth hurts. The truth hurts. So this is not, I don't think, a one-on-one fair thing. But let's go ahead and see Trump versus Biden. Let's go ahead and take a look at Trump versus Biden.
In Europe, as the New England Medical Journal said, they're starting from a very low rate. We're starting from a very high rate. The expectation is we'll have another 200,000 Americans dead between now and the end of the year. If we just wore these masks, the president's own advisors have told him, we could save 100,000 lives. And we're in a circumstance where the president thus far and still has no plan, no comprehensive plan. What I would do is make sure we have everyone encouraged to wear a mask all the time. I would make sure we move in the direction of rapid testing, investing in rapid testing. I would make sure that we set up national standards as to how to open up schools and open up businesses so they can be safe.
He's just ranting on and on. And just, I mean, he's really hammering Trump though, but it's just like, let's just listen a little bit more.
And give them the wherewithal, the financial resources to be able to do that. We're in a situation now where the New England Medical Journal, one of the most serious journals in the whole world, said for the first time ever that the way this president has responded to this crisis has been absolutely tragic. And so, folks.
So basically, like the whole thing with Joe Biden and Trump was just COVID. In a nutshell, I'm experienced and like I'm going to do things that are really different for the American people on COVID. None of that was true. Lockdowns just barely ended like a week ago or something, officially, I think, through the legislative action and stuff like that. But, yeah, so let's go ahead and see what Trump says. Let's see. Here we go.
Of people recover. We have to recover. We can't close up our nation. We have to open our school, and we can't close up our nation, or you're not going to have a nation.
And of course, the CDC has said young people can get sick with COVID-19 and can pass it. Vice President Biden, I want to talk broadly about strategy, though.
Can I respond to that?
30 seconds, please, and I have a question.
No, number one, he says that we're learning to live with it. People are learning to die with it. You folks home will have an empty chair at the kitchen table this morning. That man or wife going to bed tonight and reaching over to try to touch their
He's such a liar.
Habit where their wife or husband is gone. Learning to live with it. Come on. We're dying with it because he has never said, you said it's dangerous. When's the last time? Is it really dangerous still? Are we dangerous? You tell the people it's dangerous now? What should they do about the danger? And you say, I take no responsibility.
Let me talk about
Excuse me, I take no responsibility.
Wow. I can't lie. Joe Biden's talking points are really like hurtful. I don't like it's like how do you take something and make it emotional? You know what I mean? So like he's just very insidious at Joe Biden is very insidious at taking something and making it emotional to the American people. And I mean, when he says those things, it's just like, wow. But I mean, Trump did a really phenomenal job. Say what you will, but when COVID happened, it was just out of control. And I mean, I think that's what destroyed Trump. COVID-19, warp speed. Everybody talks about it still to this day. Say what you will. Let's go ahead and see Trump's response. And we're going to go ahead and go back to Ron DeSantis because we've been on Trump for a while.
Responsibility. It's not my fault that he came here. It's China's fault. And you know what? It's not Joe's fault that he came here either. It's China's fault. They kept it from going into the rest of China for the most part, but they didn't keep it from coming out to the world, including Europe and ourselves.
Yeah, that's not good.
Vice President Biden.
In fact,
that was a really bad comeback. There was no fight in him. There was no fire in him. There was no, truthful, but you got to understand Biden is not a truthful guy. He's a guy who's going to play dirty. He's a guy who's going to say anything in the world to come on top. That was a very soft, very kind of like his head was tucked in a little bit. And I mean, what he said was not wrong. Obviously it's right, but his fire and his passion was not, it was really, really gone compared to how he was with Hillary. And even Ron DeSantis was a little bit more fiery versus Andrew Gillum. Ron DeSantis was really on Gillum about the child molestation, releasing child molesters, and Andrew Gillum being responsible about it, not doing anything about it. And he says the truth hurts. You know what I mean? That's a fight right there. And he's a Democrat. So Republican versus Democrat. This is Trump versus two Democrats, career politicians, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. And yeah, this is one little clip, but yeah, I mean, that was pretty soft. Like if we were to see a serious debate, like a final debates with Joe Biden and Ron DeSantis, Trump cannot get soft like this. Or maybe you might think I'm wrong by saying that, which, hey, it's okay. We're all here for a political debate. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think about Trump's response. Let me know what you guys think about what he did with how he handled Hillary Clinton. Let me know what you think about Ron DeSantis. Do you want him to be president? All right, let's go ahead and take a look back at Ron DeSantis in 2022. So let's go ahead and take a look.
We were able to get in record time, effectuate thousands of rescues, get the power back on for millions of people in record time. And when the bridges got wiped out in Pine Island and in Sanibel, people thought those islands were going to be severed from the mainland for 6 months to a year. We did the Pine Island restoration in 3 days, and we did the Sanibel Causeway restoration in 2 weeks. Now those islands have the ability to recover, and Charlie Crist is sitting there. You know what he was doing during this? He was in hiding out in Puerto Rico. He wasn't helping his community here. And then when he got back...
Oh, look at that.
And then when he got back, what did he do? His campaign was soliciting campaign contributions from storm victims. That is unacceptable, and that's not what a leader would do in a time of despair.
See? Do you see what I'm talking about? Ron DeSantis comes out with the facts. He comes out with the facts, and he does not care what the entire world thinks. Ron DeSantis does not care what his opponents think. Ron DeSantis does not consider being looked at as a bad person. He does not, he just goes straight to the facts. And whether you like Ron DeSantis or not, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. But I feel like Ron DeSantis comes from a more strategic, more stronger, more disciplined, more sober place versus Donald Trump. Trump comes from a personal, very personal place with a lot of ego. And I mean, he tells the truth, yes. But he also has a lot of this, I'm this, big dude who's going to try to destroy you. Whereas Ron DeSantis is no, I'm a small dude, but I'm going to destroy you. I don't know. I really, really, really like Ron DeSantis a lot, and I think he'll do really good against Democrats and Joe Biden potentially. All right, let's go ahead and continue to have a look.
Congressman, you have 30 seconds.
Governor, that's not true, and you know it. Let's face what the facts are in this situation. So, whether it comes to COVID or comes to the hurricane.
The audience is like going crazy.
He doesn't think that they know what's right to apply to. And he thinks he knows better than everybody. Look at any issue that we're facing in the state of Florida. He thinks he's the only one that has the right answer, whether it's usurping your local school board, whether it's doing anything else in education.
Look at his face.
Banning books, for example. I mean, it's unbelievable.
He's moving his jaw.
And so you have to.
He just smiles.
What's right for the people.
And he's very, very focused. Look at that.
My opponent's attempt to politicize this because
Did you guys see that? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really so he just very, very confidently he just stood there and like kind of like put his head up, and then he's just kind of like chuckled a little bit, and then he like gets his hands and he puts his hands together in a powerful stance or whatever stance you want to call it, and then he's just like wrong, like nah. And he lets him speak. He doesn't interrupt like Donald Trump. No, he's like focused, very focused. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. I really, really like his tactics here.
Communities did mobilize. And if you looked at that track, everyone was focusing on Tampa Bay the Monday night before the storm. We woke up Tuesday morning. The models had shifted into Sarasota. All the folks in Southwest Florida were activated. Lee County did issue evacuations. You had a number of residents that have been through a lot of hurricanes, and it looked like it may be going a little north. So people were following that very intently. Those folks did a good job. The governor, our message was listen to your locals. It's ultimately a local decision. They do the shelters, but I stand by every one of our local counties. They stood up, they worked hard, and they made the best decisions they could with the information that they had.
So if you notice, there was no personal attacks. There was no you're wrong, or there was no like, you should be ashamed of yourself because of this or that. No, none of that. Ron DeSantis came from a place where nothing else mattered except what he believed, like his perception of what he believed was factually right. And he came and he delivered in a confidently. So his strategy is about. It's really good. It's really good. I really like it. It's very disciplined and really sober. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Our final question on the economy. John in Gainesville asks, what are your plans to reduce the effects of inflation on Floridians if the federal government cannot come up with a viable solution? Governor?
Well, we know that these are the effects of the Biden-Crist policies, the worst inflation in 40 years. And Charlie Crist votes with Biden 100% of the time. And he says that Biden is the best president he's ever seen. So he's locked together with these policies that have hurt so many people throughout our state and our country. Here's what we're going to do. One, we have the 5th lowest gas prices in the country right now because we did do a gas tax holiday. We're proud of that. What we're going to do for Floridians who commute, we're going to reduce tolls by 50% statewide for all commuters in the state of Florida. We are going to make all baby items, diapers, cribs, wipes, you name it, tax-free permanently in the state of Florida, so you can raise kids and get by. We have a 5 and a 4 and a 2-year-old. Our 2 oldest are out of diapers. My wife asked me, why didn't you propose that your first year in office? Well, you live and you learn. And we're also going to say that pet food is going to be tax-free in the state of Florida. So this is going to be the largest tax relief plan in the history of the state of Florida.
I really like Ron DeSantis a lot.
When you have a strong economy and the largest budget surplus in history, which we have right now.
All facts. He didn't stutter. He didn't personally attack the guy. I mean, he said he votes with Biden all of the time, right? So what is Ron DeSantis and Trump going to look like? We're 39 minutes into the podcast. What is it going to look like if this happens? I think it's going to be tough, but I think that Ron DeSantis might have a tiny upper hand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think about Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis. Let me know what you think about Trump. Write a comment below. Be sure to hit a thumbs up and subscribe. Follow me at Victor Goldstar1 on Twitter. I post there all the time. And be sure to go watch episode 7, where I talk about all the 2024 Republican presidential candidates and potential hopefuls. So I could see a situation where Trump is on the debate stage and Ron DeSantis is on the debate stage. And I could see Trump just personally attacking Ron DeSantis. I mean, we see it all the time, just being vomited on Truth Social, frankly. And I think Trump is just going to attack and say, your voice is very high pitched, and we need strong leaders. Maybe like just a lot of personal attacks. Like I haven't seen a lot of the news recently on Trump's Truth Social, but let's go ahead and take a look right now at that, and we'll go ahead and see Donald Trump's comments on Ron DeSantis. But that's just what I think. I think, anyways, this is a different conversation. But anyways, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let's go ahead and take a look at Hillary versus Trump. Let's go ahead and get this underway.
This tape is generating intense interest. In just 48 hours, it's become the single most talked about story of the entire 2016 election on Facebook, with millions and millions of people discussing it on the social network. As we said a moment ago, we do want to bring in questions from voters around the country via social media, and our first stays on this topic. Jeff from Ohio asks on Facebook, Trump says the campaign has changed him. When did that happen? So, Mr. Trump, let me add to that. When you walked off that bus at age 59, were you a different man, or did that behavior continue until just...
So we're already 12 minutes into the debate, and they cannot stop talking about the same thing. So let me know what you guys think. Do Democrats attack? I know Gavin Newsom really attacks Ron DeSantis a lot, but I think Ron DeSantis will do a very good job being president. I think he'll do really good on the debate stage against Trump. I think he's just gonna attack Trump on warp speed and just tons of different other things. Let's go ahead and take a look. And we'll go ahead and be wrapping up this video.
Recently. And you have 2 minutes for this.
As I told you, that was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I am a person who has great respect for people, for my family, for the people of this country. And certainly I'm not proud of it. But that was something that happened.
Let me stop this real quick. So he repeats himself. I think that's another bad weakness. He repeats himself too much. And say what you will. Yeah, I know he has to defend himself. I know he needs to clarify. They keep bringing it up. He needs to keep going back at it. I get that. But I think that as we could see psychologically and politically, strategically with Ron DeSantis will not take the bait. Ron DeSantis won't take the shiny, dangling object. Ron DeSantis will just like confidently, you know what I mean? And just like quickly like figure out something analytical and intelligent to just like tackle. And he'll just get straight to the facts. I mean, this is kind of like a tough situation for Trump. Like, how is Trump supposed to respond and defend himself here? But I can see this with Ron DeSantis and Trump. Like, what if Ron DeSantis, brings up something once? Because he's not going to bring it up again. And he's going to say, well, you failed really bad on warp speed. And, I took over in Florida and managed a very tight, squeaky, clean cabinet. And we tackled our goals and our different things. Whereas when you were in the White House, everything was leaking, and you took a warp speed, and you didn't have good experience in politics, Donald Trump, Mr. Trump. And then Trump will just like get ferocious and furious and be like, wrong, you're wrong, and you and you did this, and your wife is this, and you should be ashamed of yourself, and you know what I mean, and X, Y, and Z, and X and Y, and Z, right? And then Ron DeSantis will probably like not even take debate at all. He'll just go straight into like a whole different stratosphere, like he did with Charlie Crist. We can already see like some weaknesses from Trump and a lot of strengths from DeSantis. I'm going to be closing this off very soon, but let's go ahead and hear some final comments from Trump and DeSantis, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women.
That's very good.
You can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women. And attack them viciously. 4 of them here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped.
Wow.
Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight.
Wow.
So don't tell me about words.
Don't tell me.
Absolutely, I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say. But what President Clinton did, he was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000 fine to one of the women, Paula Jones, who's also here tonight. And I will tell you that when Hillary brings up a point like that, and she talks about words that I said 11 years ago, I think it's disgraceful, and I think she should be ashamed of herself, if you want to know the truth.
Mic drop. Mic drop. All right, that was really powerful, but where was that energy with Biden, right? Where was that energy with Biden? So let's go ahead and take one final look at Biden here. There was really no energy here.
It is that when we knew it was coming, when it hit, what happened? What did the president say? He said, don't worry, it's going to go away. Be gone by Easter. Don't worry, the warm weather. Don't worry, maybe inject bleach. He said he was kidding when he said that, but a lot of people thought it was serious. A whole range of things the president has said. Even today, he thinks we are in control. We're about to lose 200,000 more people.
President Trump.
Look, perhaps just to finish.
So I'm sorry. If you notice, Biden, he doesn't talk about like things he did. He doesn't talk about his record. He doesn't talk about his successes, because frankly there are none. There are none. He's been in office all his life, and Joe Biden sucks. You know what? Joe Biden sucks butt. That's what I'm trying to say. But what I'm saying is that, this is like the easiest victory ever. Like, Ron DeSantis would have destroyed Joe Biden. Let me know what you guys think. All right, let's go ahead and take a look over here. Okay.
I was kidding on that, but just to finish this, when I closed, he said I shouldn't have closed. And that went on for months. Nancy Pelosi said the same thing. She was dancing on the streets in Chinatown in San Francisco. But when I closed, he said, this is a terrible thing. You're xenophobic. I think he called me racist even. And because I was closing it to China. Now he says I should have closed it earlier. It just, Joe, it doesn't work.
I didn't say either of those things.
You certainly did. You
certainly
certainly
did. I talked about a xenophobia in a different context. It wasn't about closing the border to Chinese coming to the United States.
All right, I want to talk about both of your different strategies to handling.
He thought.
Wait.
I shouldn't have closed the border.
Well,
That's obvious.
Do you want to respond to that quickly, Vice President Biden? Okay.
No.
Let's talk about your different.
All right. I don't know. I feel like the energy in the final debate was just like really not there. And I mean, say what you will about Hillary Clinton, but he had a lot of truth bombs there. But I mean, let's go ahead and try to see if we can get like one juicy highlight, at least one juicy highlight. Let's give Trump a chance.
Isn't that being done? Any country that interferes with us will, in fact, pay a price because they're affecting our sovereignty.
He is a liar. Look at what happened with the Chinese weather balloon. The Chinese weather balloon literally went all across the entire United States. Joe Biden was so incompetent that literally thousands of Americans were taking pictures of the Chinese spy balloon and didn't even shoot it down. Beijing Biden taking money from an energy company or whatever from China, millions from China, and his son Hunter Biden from China. So he's wrong. He's a liar. He is a liar. And then we later found out that, yes, it was a spy balloon. And yes, they gathered tons and tons of data. His administration is an embarrassment. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Trump's response.
President Trump, same question to you. Let me ask the question. You're going to have 2 minutes to respond. For 2 elections in a row now, there has been substantial interference from foreign adversaries. What would you do in your next term to put an end to this? 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Well, let me respond to the first part, as Joe answered. Joe got $3.5 million from Russia, and it came through Putin because he was very friendly with the former mayor of Moscow, and it was the mayor of Moscow's wife. And you got $3.5 million. Your family got $3.5 million, and someday you're going to have to explain, why did you get 3.5? I never got any money from Russia. I don't get money from Russia. Now, about your thing last night, I knew all about that. And through John Ratcliffe, who is fantastic, DNI, he said the one thing that's common to both of them, they both want you to lose, because there has been nobody tougher to Russia. Between the sanctions, nobody tougher than me on Russia. Between the sanctions, between all of what I've done with NATO, I've got the NATO countries to put up.
I'm just going to pause this. You could just tell Trump is coming from a really hurt place. Like, he's really broken and really hurt. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But his third debate with Biden is just really bad. Really bad. I mean, there's just really not really a lot of confidence there. Like, he had a little bit with Hillary Clinton. There's some weaknesses he had with Hillary Clinton, but he did way better with Hillary Clinton than Biden. Anyways, we'll go back to Andrew Gillum, and we'll go ahead and finish up this amazing podcast.
I'm sorry. This is too important a claim. And again, it is consistent with the way in which Mr. DeSantis go ahead, let him speak. I'll give you time. Has run his campaign. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, Nigger. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Here's the deal. Let me just say this straight up. I've lived my life, whether it's athletics, whether it's military, whether it's serving as a prosecutor. When I was downrange in Iraq, we worked together as a team, regardless of race. We had the American flag on our arm.
Look at that.
We wore the same uniform, and we fought for the country.
Yeah.
When I was a prosecutor, I stood up for victims of every race, color, and creed. That's the only way to do it in our country. It's something I believe in, and as governor, I will represent all the people. Everyone will get a fair shake. But I am not going to bow down to the altar of political correctness. I'm going to not let the media smear me like they like to do with so many other people. Sir, I'm certainly not going to take anything from Andrew Gillum, who's endorsed the Dream Defenders, which says Israel is an apartheid state, and which says the police and prisons have no place in justice.
Woo! Woo! Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, Ron DeSantis destroyed Andrew Gillum. Wow. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I think you guys can, decide for yourself which president you kind of really want to go for. I would say Ron DeSantis, from what I've seen, Ron DeSantis debates Democrats much better. He debates much better. He has much more strengths. He comes from a more confident, more focused, more strategic place than Trump. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't take things personal. It's just boom, 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 and then he says what he believes, and he doesn't shut up, and he doesn't back down, and he doesn't take the bait. Whereas Trump comes from a place of a lot of emotion, and then he gets hurt a lot. His ego gets hurt a lot. He gets really distracted when there's just too many things attacking him at the same time. He takes the bait a lot. He doesn't get he doesn't stay focused. A lot of the times he goes back to the same thing. But I would say Trump's strengths here were telling the truth in a way that I guess that's just, you need to know this, and that's very important. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. We are 56 minutes into the podcast. I think this was amazing understanding. Ron DeSantis is a Iraq veteran, according to his words. But I like Ron DeSantis more, in my opinion, than Trump. And I think he'll be a good president, a very good president. And I think he did a better job, in my opinion, debating. Let me know what you guys think. All right, this has been episode 8 of The Moderate View. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks for watching The Moderate View.